Kendrick's
Oh
performance?
man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship,
Yeah.
the creativity. You know, real artist for real.
Yes, sir.
And he did it his way.
Okay.
Gotta respect it.
But back to that.
A lot has been going on behind the scenes for a long time. Kendrick just made history by breaking the Super Bowl halftime show record with over 130 million views, which is more than any other performer ever. While everyone was celebrating his big moment, Pusha T came out with a cryptic message, and fans are sure he was taking a shot at Drake. At the same time, it looks like Drake is losing control more and more every day. His beef with UMG CEO UMG and Grainge just got even worse, and now he has turned his attention to Lucian's daughter-in-law, Sofia Richie. Things are getting more wild by the minute. Drake spent years showing off his big deal with UMG, bragging about his close relationship with Lucian and Grainge, and acting like nothing could touch him. But now, everything is falling apart, and fans are saying he did this to himself. He signed a deal thinking he was special, but now he is paying the price. Instead of handling things in a smart way, Drake is pushing the self-destruct button. Suing the same label that gave him $400 million is already a big move, but now he is going even further by going after Lucian's family. Drake must have a career death wish because nothing he has been doing lately makes any sense. And now, with Pusha T hinting that Drake was always meant to lose, it makes people wonder if this was his fate from the start. Why is he moving like he is trying to destroy whatever is left of his reputation? Let us talk about it. He never stands for anything, never speaks up about anything, and whenever things get serious, he runs to Memphis or Houston, acting like that is his real side. But the truth is, he has never really connected. Now, Pusha T has finally spoken about Kendrick Lamar's record-breaking Super Bowl halftime show, and fans are sure he was sending a clear message about Drake's downfall. Instead of just giving a simple shout-out, Pusha went on his Instagram stories and wrote, "Mission accomplished. Congrats." That one line had people thinking there was a deeper meaning behind it. Pusha also talked to some paparazzi recently and praised Kendrick's performance. You could see he was truly proud of Kendrick's big moment. A paparazzi asked Pusha T how he felt about Kendrick's performance, and he had nothing but praise. Oh man, Kendrick killed it. Killed it. The storytelling, the performance, the showmanship, the creativity, a real artist, for real. He did it his way, and you have to respect that. But fans cannot stop talking about that mission accomplished comment from Pusha. People believe he knew exactly what he was doing when he said it. Some are sure he was hinting that Kendrick just sealed Drake's fate, something Pusha has been waiting for. Pusha T has played a big part in all of this. Let us not forget that back in 2018, he broke Drake's untouchable image with his song The Story of Audie Don, where he revealed Drake's secret son and baby mother to the world. That moment changed how people saw Drake. Now, with Kendrick taking shot after shot at Drake and Drake spiraling into self-sabotage, it looks like all of this was part of a bigger plan to take down Drake's golden boy status for good. Now, let us talk about how reckless Drake has been acting lately. Lately, after Kendrick's Super Bowl performance broke records, it seems like Drake is really spiraling. He has been posting nonstop on his Instagram, and while part of this is definitely to promote his new album with Party Next Door, it is clear that this is about more than just music. Drake is once again making his feud with UMG bigger, and he is making moves that could land him in even more trouble than he is already in. As you know, last month, Drake filed a federal defamation lawsuit. Drake has now taken things to court, suing his own label, UMG. He claims they helped make Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us, more successful than it should have been. According to Drake, UMG worked with streaming services to boost the numbers and allowed a song that wrongly accuses him of being a PDF file to go viral. Taking the issue to court over a rap beef and suing his label instead of just responding directly to Kendrick was already a bad move. But now Drake is taking it even further and making it personal, just like he always does when he feels cornered. Drake is now going after the women close to the men he is in conflict with. This time, he is targeting Sofia Richie GRA, who is married to Lucian and Grainge's son, Elliot. On Tuesday, February 11th, Drake posted a picture of Sofia wearing an OVO shirt on his other Instagram page. Now, Sophia is the only person Drake follows on his main Instagram account. However, posting about Sophia is not going over well. Fans are saying this just shows once again that Drake has no self-awareness and has learned nothing from this ongoing beef. Instead of going after Kendrick or UMG and Grainge directly, Drake is targeting a woman who has nothing to do with this drama. What makes this even worse is that it is not the first time Drake has taken cheap shots at women instead of dealing with the men he is actually fighting with. With Meek Mill, Drake went after Nicki Minaj. With Pusha T, he brought up Pusha's fiancée, Virginia. With Kendrick, he kept throwing shots at Whitney Houston. With DJ Mustard, it was his ex-wife. And when MD said Drake makes pop music, Drake went. Drake has now gone as far as following UMG and Grainge's daughter, who had just turned 18. Now, in his fight with UMG, he is targeting his daughter-in-law, who is 12 years younger than Drake, married, and has an 8-month-old baby. You would think, with all the rumors about Drake and young women, he would be very careful and stay away from involving women or children in his problems. But it seems like he just cannot help himself. Fans are now saying that, despite everything Drake's fans say about him being above it all, his actions show something different. Even though Drake is acting like he is unbothered, it is clear that he is spiraling right in front of everyone. The way things are going, it seems like it will only get worse. One fan pointed out that Drake has to know how destructive his fans have been lately. They say. Another fan wrote, and they went on to explain how wrong they felt his actions were. Drake's fans might not even know that Sofia Richie is not just married to UMG and Grainge's son, but she is also the daughter of Lionel Richie. It is kind of funny how little they seem to understand. When you mess with the families of powerful people, you cannot complain when they decide to make a move against you. Now, let's talk about UMG and Grainge and his fallout with Drake, because that seems to be the real reason behind Drake's meltdown. Apparently, Drake thinks that UMG has been plotting against him, which does not really make sense, especially when you remember that Drake was UMG's biggest moneymaker for years. Now, Drake's fans are trying really hard to make this lawsuit look like a brave, revolutionary move, but it is not clear if that will actually work out for him. Some fans are saying that Drake is suing UMG to fight the whole music industry and help small, independent artists stand up against these big, powerful labels. But let's be real, Drake never had a problem being UMG's favorite when it worked for him. In fact, he loved showing off his special deal. He often bragged about how different his contract was compared to other artists. He even mentioned UMG in his songs, acting like he was untouchable because of how things were handled for him. Before everything started going down with Kendrick, Drake was not just another artist under UMG. He was UMG's golden boy. In 2021, Drake landed one of the biggest deals in music history, which was rumored to be worth $450 million. UMG made it clear that Drake could have whatever he wanted. At that time, Drake seemed untouchable, with everyone treating him like royalty. He even said things like, "All I know is that God got me, and I'm sitting on big properties. Treat me like a newborn." It was clear that Drake had everything going for him. On stage, Shem and Drake says, "Tell Lucy," and I said, "I'm tearing holes in my budget." Louise MYG did. Drake tried to renegotiate his deal and asked for an incredible $600 million from UMG, but the problem is that Drake forgot who is really in charge. No matter how much success Drake has had, UMG is still the boss, and Drake is still just an employee, no matter how big he gets. Here is what I am hearing. In his $400 million deal, Drake had one final task, which was the Party Next Door album. Before the beef in May, this last project was supposed to be the one that would push Drake into his next big deal. It was all planned to take him to the next level. In basketball, players are like restricted free agents. You do not let them become free agents before you start negotiating and locking them into another deal. What happens is that when you are at the end of your contract, the talks begin. It is like being in a contract year. Think about the NBA. You're playing basketball, and sometimes you might get injured. But when it is contract year, you push through that injury because you want that bigger contract. Now here is the interesting part. Before, Drake could have dropped that last album, and then the situation began to heat up even more, and Kendrick was not just going after Drake. In his song, Meet the Grams, Kendrick shared a big secret, saying, I've been in this industry for 12 years, and I am going to tell you one little secret. There is some weird stuff happening. He continued by saying some artists are being controlled and have people behind the scenes pulling the strings. Kendrick also talked about how some of these people invite victims into their homes, call them tender, and then release videos to push their own agendas. In other words, Kendrick is suggesting that the problem goes beyond just Drake. It is about the people working behind him as well. Kendrick is suggesting that the powerful people in the music industry might be involved in some shady activities. While artists like Drake are used to keep everything under control, there could be someone even bigger pulling the strings. Universal Music Group must have been watching closely, especially since the last thing Lucian needed was more bad press tying him to any rumors or allegations about wrongdoings in the industry, especially after he had just cleared his name in Lil Rod's lawsuit. But things take an even wilder turn when some people started to think that. Some people began to wonder if Diddy's parties and secret recordings were actually part of a blackmail scheme set up by people in higher positions for their own political plans. The many lawsuits against him are not only very detailed, but also suggest connections to powerful people in the entertainment world. One key lawsuit came from music producer Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones. He accuses Diddy of being involved in a situation similar to the Epstein case. Jones says that Diddy hosted parties where drugs were used and threats of harm were made. Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones claims that the parties, which were funded by powerful figures like Universal Music Group CEO UMG and Grainge, were secretly recorded. The recordings were said to be used to blackmail important people, including music executives and politicians. UMG and Grainge, a billionaire with strong connections to Zionist causes, is involved in major events such as the Friends of the IDF Gala, which raises money for the Israeli military. His wife, Caroline Grainge, also supports Zionist organizations. They are both connected to influential people like Chaim Saban, an Israeli businessman. Chaim Saban is a well-known American media owner. He is very powerful in the Democratic Party and gives a lot of money to causes supporting Israel. He has a business partnership with Universal Music Group, which helps with global distribution and marketing. Another person who worked at Universal Music Group is David Renzier. Renzier started a group called Creative Community for Peace. This group gets Hollywood celebrities to speak up for Israel and against Palestinian activists. Renzier is a big part of bringing support for Israel into Hollywood through his connections in the music industry. In 1994, Clive Davis worked with Creative Community for Peace, helping to fund Diddy's Bad Boy Records when Diddy was only 23 years old. Later, Universal Music Group and UMG and Grainge were removed from Rodney Jones's lawsuit against Diddy.